Hello and welcome. I watched this movie called Garden of Words on Netflix, and it inspired me to make this video and this build. And it is a Japanese garden. I'm pretty sure that's where they're at. They're in like a Japanese park, and it was like a little corner in the middle of the park where they both met. And I just thought it was really pretty, and there was a snapshot of it from a distance that I saw while I was watching it, and I just said, perfect. I can use that and I can make a build of it. So this is me doing that. Well, either way, what I'm doing right now is, you might be wondering what I'm doing with this like wood block table thing. Honestly, I wish it didn't have that little white metal thing on the side, but I kind of just wanted to put a like block of wood there because it's kind of like a table, but it's built into the thing. Because of course in the Pavilion in the anime, it was more like just a wood chair that was like back and bottom, and that's it. It didn't have like pillows or anything, of course. But the garden chairs that you have in The Sims aren't exactly what it is, and these chairs just seemed like something that was really close to it that I thought matched, and I was like, well, okay. So I went with it, and I put the wood block there to be more of like a side table thing, like the thing that was connecting them in the middle that I saw they put things on occasionally. And so that's basically why I did that. The clipping is a bit annoying, but honestly, when you're playing, you don't really notice it if you're like playing with your sim, unless you're looking for it. But the roof right here, I was hoping I could have a long shingled roof, like one of those little long ones that was green, but they didn't have any. And while the black looked fine, I didn't like the black with it. And I think in the anime, the roof was kind of a greenish color, which is why I went with the green color. It did take me a while to get the roofing tool to work because it was just being really finicky, but I did end up getting it to work. And then right here, you can see I'm just doing some landscaping. I don't always do landscaping when I build things, as you might find out if you look at some of my other builds, especially since I usually tend to focus on the interior and then like the front door and stuff, and that's about it. I don't really focus on the yard itself, but since I was building a park, I said, well, I need to make more than just pavilion, because when I went into making it, I knew I was going to make it flowery, and I was going to put like a little stream to say, but in actuality it's the not pond tool, what's it called, a fountain tool? Yeah, it's actually the fountain tool, and I did what everyone else does and made it into like a little creek or something. I like to personally imagine that the little exits are like little bridges that are going over top of the water, although I don't know how to actually do that, sadly, without raising the ground, but it would look weird to have it raised, especially since the rest of the world is flat. So I don't usually play around with the terrain tool very much in the sense of changing the landscape shape. Oh, right here, I'm adding a little bit of dirt to it. That one, I did it a little too intensely with the opacity, but I'm just adding a bit of dirt to make it look a bit more worn because it looked too bright, too flashy, and I end up going in with the little small tool, and I make a path that's a little brighter to stand for that it's been walked on a bit more. I just noticed they're a little brighter whenever I was looking at stuff, but it was also a way for me to figure out where I want to put the plants and how I want the walkways to be. And that's what I ended up doing with that. So I haven't really thought about it until, oh, right here, I'm putting in the lake thingy, not the lake thingy, but either way, the little stream, because in the anime, there was like this stream with a bridge, and they would look at it, and I thought it was pretty. Of course, I couldn't actually incorporate that into the game, but I thought adding some water accents would make it look really nice. I knew from the beginning I wanted them to be there, but I wasn't sure exactly where I'd put them until after I built it. I decided to have them focused mainly towards the front in the areas where you would be entering or exiting, and then having flora and plants covering all the other stuff. I did exactly what, I forget who I saw use this plant a lot. I think it might be Emerald, Katie Emerald, the one who builds those like fantastic builds that I have no idea how in the world she can do it. I've tried using that tool thingy before that she uses, the tool mod thing, and I for the life of me could not figure it out. But to be fair, I only spent like 20 minutes on it, so that's probably why. I bet if I spent as much time as she did on it, I'd probably figure it out a lot sooner. But I tend to just build with the don't move objects on, the moving objects on, and then some of the other standard cheats that are in the game. I don't use a lot of mods for building. I don't think I use any mods for building if I'm thinking about it, because the mods I do use are more for gameplay, such as MC Command Center and Wicked Winds and all that stuff. So, and like adding traits and stuff. But all those are mainly gameplay ones. They don't really affect when you're building. Ooh, I really like that bush. I saw it and I said, this is perfect. I want to put this in there. I know it doesn't look exactly like it could go there, but I really like it. I think the leaves are just so pretty. And the back, since you're not really like in depth going into the back, I kind of just filled it with a bunch of generic flowers. They look really pretty from the front and they look okay from the back. It is obviously copy and paste in the back, but you're not walking back there, and in all honesty, it just kind of fills it out a bit, which is nice, because if I add a bunch of different plants, it could be too busy, and I've noticed if I mix too much of the stuff together, then things start to like, they don't mess up, but they don't exactly like stay where they're at. Like I notice sometimes when I reload it or download it off the gallery, some of the plants will be missing. And I'm like, why are they missing? And I thought maybe it was just my computer, but I'm not actually sure on that. But I have a pretty alright computer. Like I have a gaming PC, and I run The Sims on like max graphics, so it shouldn't like be because of the PC or anything. This grass, I forget where it came from. I think it was from the Travel Exploring. I used it kind of just as a filler in for the back, and the bushes again were just signifiers for this is where you exit. I kind of am just filling up the area with some plants. I put plants that I thought look, they take up space, they look pretty, they're light, they're all kind of the same color, nothing's really too extreme except the purple bush. And then I found this plant, which was like spread out among everything, and I was like, that's perfect. That's exactly what I was going for when I was looking through the plants. I never used that plant though, because until this build, I've never had an opportunity to use it where it made sense. But now I do, so I am in fact using it. At this point, I'm kind of just filling in the extra spaces around the plants. But something else, when I was building at the beginning, I'm not sure whether I did it on the film thing or not, but I went through all the settings of like the day-night cycles and all that. And this one was the best setting to where I could see, but honestly, in some towns there's a setting where it's kind of like a mix between this one and evening. And it's like light and it's pretty and it's really nice to build in because I feel like all the colors kind of actually show up. Because in this one there's the hard shadows and the colors are very bright and they're very seeable, but it also kind of makes some of the lighter colors not pop as much. Like if you have a light colored wall trim or something, or like a light colored paint, then like it looks way brighter than it actually is in this setting, which is an issue whenever I'm trying to build stuff. Kind of like the wood for the things. I was having a hard time figuring out what color that was. I knew it was like a light colored wood based on the swatch, but having it in the game, it just kind of looks like a white pillar to me. It doesn't honestly look like it's slightly wood. And the same with the fencing. The fencing, I know it's a little darker colored, but it still kind of just looks really light to me, like lighter than the swatch itself, which I know is so unheard of in The Sims 3, having swatches that don't match their color. But, oh yeah, when I went back while I was editing, I found this where it was the right setting that I like. It's very close to it. It's not exact, but it is close. But, well, that's it for the video, basically. I just went in, I added some hashtags, and I saved it to the gallery. And this is where I ended up. I am pretty happy with the build. I don't regret making it, of course, and I thought it was really fun to do. And if you want to see it, you can just look it up in the gallery. And thank you for listening. I hope you have a wonderful day, and goodbye.